advance estimate, we were expecting the growth to be 4.9, and subsequent information which came out has made us estimate the growth now to be 4.7. So to that extent, you can say relative to February, the growth has come in less than what I had expected in February. So that is certainly true. What is important to see is why did this happen? It's principally because of the performance of manufacturing. IIP, both in February, January, February and March, but certainly in February and March, which is came in below what we were projecting at the time of the advance. Government expenditure seems to be, because of a view to keep the deficit down, has also been squeezed. So all of these have led to the last quarter coming in worse than what we were expecting at the time when we made the advance estimates.
Second half of the fiscal year 14 was expected to be the turnaround half. People were expecting the slowdown to move away. People were expecting green shoots in the economy. You yourself were hoping that there would be a turnaround. Is the slowdown really over? Are there signs of any revival?
There is one sign. Our trade picture is not as negative as it was last year at this time. I mean, that's the one positive in this. But principally, what has not materialized and which should have happened but has not materialized is a revival in the capital formation, which should have then had linkage effects in capital goods sectors, in the growth dimension which flows out of that. Fundamentally, what is emerging, and if you look at the picture over a number of quarters, is that the growth is not picking up.
Okay, let's get in an expert take as well. Subir Gokarn, former Deputy Governor RBI and Research Director at Brookings, joins us as well. Subir, 4.6% for Q4, 4.7% for the entire fiscal. Would you now say that the worst is clearly behind us?
What we are seeing here is sort of settling in at a kind of bottom. This is the kind of growth that we should expect to see when there is relatively low motivation to invest. People are generally uncertain about the future and are waiting to see what happens. So having found a bottom, and keep in mind that the last time we were in this kind of trough was perhaps from 98 to 2002, when very little was happening by way of new investments and so on. Agriculture was very sluggish. That was adding up to about a 5% average. So we seem to have settled somewhere in that region. So it is now contingent on what the policy response is. What does the government do to stimulate investment? What does it do to bring inflation down so that interest rates can once again become a growth inducing factor rather than a growth retarding factor? All of those things are important. So I think we have to leave this behind. We understand where we are in terms of having settled down at the bottom of the range. And we have to anticipate, focused and effective action by the new government in doing things that will get the growth rate back up.
All right, I'm going to take a cue from your answer then and talk about the new government. Most of India believes that the new government is very growth-oriented. But do you believe that corporate India will wait for concrete steps to be put on the table? Or will they loosen their purse strings just yet? What's your sense really?
It's a combination. I think there is certainly a need to be seen to be moving in the right direction, taking the right steps that will help to ease some of these structural problems over the next few months or years. And that then gives people an incentive to start investing, because investment also gives you returns after a lag, don't forget. So, you can't wait till everything is in place to invest because you may be the last one in the race. So I think confidence is very important, doing the right things, saying the right things, matching words and action. All of these are very, very important attributes that the new government must recognize to be able to not only inspire confidence, which seems to have happened already because we have a majority, because we have a government that has been talking development and governance, but also that to keep that momentum going, a series of actions, a series of steps that are consistent with this larger goal. So that is a mutually reinforcing process, I think, and that's really what's really, if that it works that way, that's really what's going to get us back onto a growth accelerating track. Where that takes us is, I think, not even necessary to predict. I think what we need to see now is the reversal, the change in direction that is the result of the government saying and doing the right things, and industry or business taking comfort from this, drawing some confidence from this, and beginning to increase the level of investment.
Dr. Subir Gokarn, thanks very much for being with us. It's always a pleasure to get your perspective.